feeling as if I am there with you. And the advantage is that I am not only in central New Jersey, I am spread all over America, it seems. I am seeing some of you from Charlotte, some of you from North Carolina, some of you from even Surat. So, and some of you are, most of you are here in central New Jersey. So we know who Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu is. Like practically all of us are aware, by Srila Prabhupada's mercy, who is Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu? Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna Nahiyanna. Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu is none other than Radha Krishna. Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu is not only Krishna, Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu is a combined form of Radha Krishna. So Radha Krishna became one. So I can give you just some understanding that can you can visually recognize who is Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu. Just consider Radha and Krishna are dancing in Vrindavan. Radha and Krishna are dancing and dancing and dancing in ecstasy. Then at one point, Krishna embraces Srimati Radharani. And when Krishna embraces Srimati Radharani, they became Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That is Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Radha and Krishna became one. They became one. There were two, now they became one. The energy and energetic, Shaktiman and Ladini Shakti personified Srimati Radharani. They became one, and that is Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And just as Radha Krishna are eternally present in Golok Vrindavan, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is also eternally present in Golok Navadvip. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is there in Golok eternally. It's not that he just came as an incarnation of Krishna. No, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is not an incarnation. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Radha, Krishna together. Krishna in the mood of Srimati Radharani. Krishna assumed the complexion of Srimati Radharani. As it has been described in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Krishna's sham complexion, dark complexion, has become covered by Radharani's complexion. And that is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Radha bhavaduti shubhalitam nomi Krishna swarupam. Radha bhava, Srimati Radharani's bhav, the mood. And what is that mood? That mood is Mahā-bhav Swarupini Radha Thakura. The Mahā-bhav, the highest emotion of love. The highest emotion. Love, the loving relationship has different stages. Rag, anurag, from prem, it goes into further, deeper and deeper and deeper. Love becomes deeper and deeper. And the deepest mood of love is Mahā-bhav. And the personification of that Mahabhav, Mahabhav Swarupini, the personification of that Mahabhav is Srimati Radharani. So Krishna assumed that Radharani is moved. So that is why we have the understanding that Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna as a devotee. So devotee, what kind of devotee? The greatest devotee. Srimati Radharani is moved, he has assumed. Why did he do that? There are two specific reasons for that. One is an external reason and the other is the internal reason. The external reason has been described in Chaitanya Charitamrita as anarpita charing chirat korunaya avatirna kalu. In order to bestow something that was not given for a long, long time. Chirat. Anarpita means not given. Arpan means to give. Anarpan means not given. So that was not given. Chirat. Chirat means that such a long time that it may sound like never, never. And how long was the time? 2000 Chaturjugas. Brahma's day is 1000 Chaturjuga, and same is the duration of Brahma's night. So 2000 Chaturjugas, meaning 8,648,640,000 years. 8,640,000,000 years. So that was given at that time. And in order to give that, he came again. Anarpita charing chirat korunaya. Very mercifully he has come. Avatirna, appeared, descended in the age of Kali, Kalu. And what is that? That was not given before. Samarpaitum, in order to give. What is that he came to give? Samarpaitum unnato jalarasa. Swabhakti shriyam. Shriyam means the wealth. And swabhakti, his own devotion. In order to give his own devotion in unnata ujjvala rasam. Unnata means most exalted. And ujjala means most brilliant. What is the most exalted? Mellow. Like we know, there are 5 mellows: Santya, Dasya, Sakhya, Vatsalya, and Madhur. Out of these 5, which is the highest? Madhur, conjugal relationship. Loving devotion in the mood of conjugal relationship. And not only the unnata, most exalted, but ujjvala, most brilliant, brilliant. This conjugal mellow also are available in 2 different ways. One is swakya and the other is parokya. Swakya means a loving relationship like between husband and wife. That is called swakya madhuraj. Like Krishna's relationship with the queens of Dwarka. Krishna is married to them. But parokya is loving relationship that doesn't follow the formality of marriage. Beyond marriage. Just love, and love is the only consideration. No formality, no social or legal bond. In marriage, there is a social approval and legal bond. But in this love, there is none of those considerations are not there. Just love. And that is the loving relationship that Krishna has with the gopis in Vrindavan. And that is considered to be the highest loving relationship. So Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu actually came to distribute the devotion in that mood. The way the gopis loved Krishna, Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu came to distribute that love. Samarpaitum unnato ujjala rasam sabhakti shriyam. So this is what Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu came to give. Hari Purata Sundara Duti Kadamba Sandipita. So Krishna Hari has assumed Purata Sundara Duti, assumed the complexion like that of a molten gold. Not only the complexion of or colored like molten gold, it's a molten gold blended with kumkum, red of kumkum. And not only the color that is like molten gold with kumkum, but it is defeating and embarrassing that color. That is the complexion of Srimati Radharani, and Krishna has come with that complexion. Sada Hridaya Kandare Sfuratu Bhashachidana. Let the sun of Mother Sachi become ever manifest in the core of your heart. So that is the mercy of Sri Caitanya. Namo Mahā-vadānyāya, Krishna-prema-pradāya. He is giving, he is distributing Krishna prema. And that is Krishna himself in the mood of Srimati Radharani and creating such amazing good fortune for all of us. So that is the mercy of Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu. He came to distribute. So we are fortunate, we are so fortunate that Srila Prabhupada took that Krishna Prema and took it to America out of India and started to distribute. And he distributed practically all over the world, and he made an arrangement that this distribution network will continue. And that arrangement is through ISKCON, the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. Like you can see, most of you never met Srila Prabhupada, but you got this access to Krishna consciousness. How did you get it? Because of Srila Prabhupada's divine arrangement of ISKCON. And Srila Prabhupada's loyal devotees are carrying on that mission. So this is something, a good fortune, that we cannot even imagine how rare this good fortune is. Brahmhara durlabha prem shabakare jache. The prem, the Krishna prem that was rare even for Lord Brahma, shabakare, shabakare means to everyone. Jache, jache means he is begging them, please take it, please take it. Like not only he is distributing, he is actually appealing to everyone, please take it. We cannot imagine how inconceivable our good fortune is. How inconceivable our good fortune is because we have come to this world at this point in time. in the age of Kali. Not only in the age of Kali, when Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu came 500 years ago, then Srila Prabhupada came and he distributed it in this way. So, in a way, it's our inconceivable good fortune that somehow or other we just happen to be here and somehow or other we got it. We can't even imagine what an amazing good fortune it is. And it's not our good fortune. This good fortune has been created by Srila Prabhupada. Our qualification is practically nothing. Once a devotee was telling Prabhupada, Prabhupada, I'm so fortunate that I received this wonderful gift. Prabhupada's response was, no, it's not your good fortune. I have created that good fortune. So Prabhupada actually created this good fortune for us. As far as our case is concerned, our situation is concerned, most of us are coming from such sinful background. Before coming to Krishna consciousness, what was the condition we were in? And this is unavoidable. The age of Kali is like that. The age of Kali. What can be done? Everyone is fallen because it's an ocean of sinful activity. We can't avoid this situation, unfortunate, sinful situation. But somehow or other we got Krishna's Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy. That is our good fortune. Prabhupada's mercy came down, and so let's take advantage of this good fortune, irrespective of wherever we may be. Let's take full advantage of that. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's teachings. So we can briefly consider Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu's teachings, because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's teachings is inconceivably vast, but still we are trying to give a glimpse of that or a bit of an understanding of that. And most of you are reading Prabhupada's books, so you know what we are cultivating. That I'm sure you all know what we are cultivating. But still, since we are here in this kind of a discussion of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's teachings, then let us try to understand in a way. Like, you see, the Vedas have the vast amount of knowledge. Vedic knowledge actually flows through two streams. One stream is Upanishad stream, and the other stream is Puran stream. And in the Upanishad stream, the culmination of all Upanishad is Bhagavad-gita or Gita Upanishad. And in the Puran stream, there are 18 Puranas, and in that stream, the highest of all the Puranas is Srimad Bhagavatam. So you can see, like in these two streams, like the ultimate culmination are Bhagavad-gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu presented his teachings based on these two scriptures, just as Srila Prabhupada has given to us. This is how Srila Prabhupada actually gave Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy and in the form of his teachings to us. Like if we consider the Upanishad aspect, then Upanishad aspect is Sarva Upanishado Gavo. All the Upanishads have been compared to a cow. Dogdha Gopala Nandana. And the cowherd boy, Gopal, Krishna, milked that cow. Dogdha Gopala Nandana. And Vatsa Partha, the calf is Arjun Partha. And Sudhir Bhokta, the cow gives the milk, making her calf the object. But who drinks the milk? No. The human beings drink milk, cow's milk. Similarly, this Bhagavad-gita, although it has been presented as if it's being presented for the sake of Arjun, but it is meant for everyone to drink this nectar. Sudhir Partha, like who are those people, those who are qualified to drink that milk? Those who have been endowed with Sudhi, very advanced intelligence. To understand Bhagavad-gita, we need advanced intelligence, very developed intelligence. So those who have developed their intelligence to that extent, they drink that milk. And what is that milk? Dugdham Gitamritam Mahat. The milk of that cow of Upanishads is Bhagavad-gita, which is the nectarian instructions of Sri Krishna. So that is one aspect, Upanishad aspect, and the Puran aspect. There are many Purans, 18 Purans, and out of them, 6 are in mode of ignorance, or kind of not in the mode of ignorance. In simple words, we can say, meant for the people, those who are in the mode of ignorance. Tamasi Pura. Then 6 are meant for those who are in the mode of passion. And 6 are in the mode of goodness. And out of that 6, the ultimate one, the 6th one, is meant not in the mode of goodness, but transcendental goodness. Material nature has goodness, but beyond that, there's a spiritual nature. There, it's pure goodness. The material, the goodness in the mode of goodness in the material nature is tinged with some passion, some ignorance. It's not pure. But in pure goodness, it is present only in the spiritual world. Shattang Vishuddhang Vasudeva Sabdita. The Vishuddha Satya, pure goodness, exists in the spiritual reality, which is called Vasudev. Vasudev, the personification of that goodness is Vasudev, Krishna's father. And so what is the Srimad Bhagavatam then? What is the qualification? Who can receive, and what is Srimad Bhagavatam? Nigama kalpatarur galitang phalam. All the Vedic wisdom, all the Vedic scriptures have been compared to a desire tree, kalpataru. And of that desired tree, galitang phalam, the ripened fruit. In that respect, Prabhupada is saying a desired tree can fulfill all desires of everyone. A desired tree can fulfill all desires. Now the tree that fulfills everyone's desires, we can well imagine what is the fruit of that tree like. And that fruit is again ripened, galitam, ripened fruit. And then on top of that, Sukha Mukhad Amrita Drava Samjutam. It has been blended with the nectar from the lotus mouth of Sukadeva Goswami. Sukha Mukhad, from Sukadeva Goswami's mouth. Amrita Drava Samjutam, the nectarian liquid, Drava, the meaning nectar from his mouth. It's been blended with that. So this is how we can see what Bhagavad-gita is and what Srimad Bhagavatam is. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is presenting that. Now, there is a problem. There had been a problem in the age of Kali. In the age of Kali, there had been contamination. Like contamination, the Vedic wisdom became contaminated. Like, although it sounds quite strong, quite heavy, but it is words from the scriptures. Rakshasa kalimashritya jayante brahmajonishu. The Rakshasas, taking advantage of the age of Kali, took birth in the Brahminical families, brahmajonishu. Rakshasa. Kalim ashritya, taking advantage of the age of Kali. And what did they do? They destroyed the Vedic culture. So that's why the Vedic teachings got contaminated. And as you know, in order to rectify that very, very degraded situation, when all kinds of abominable activities were going on, like killing animals in the name of Vedic sacrifice, all kinds of things were going on at that time. Krishna came as Lord Buddha. Nindasi jagga bideraha shruti jata. Jagga vidhi, the custom of sacrifice that came from the Shruti, the Vedas. The custom or culture or the process of sacrifice that has been prescribed in the Vedas. These brahmanas, so-called brahmanas, were performing this sacrifice and slaughtering, just for the sake of slaughtering animals. They were taking the excuse of that these animals are being slaughtered in sacrifice, which is a Vedic culture. So nindasi, criticizing, and in order to stop that, Krishna came as Keshava-dhrita Buddha Sharira. Krishna came as Lord Buddha. And he developed, or he presented, a new kind of a culture, saying that there is no need to follow the Vedas. The purpose of life is to be good. And the goal of life is to merge into or become nothing, nirvana. The goal of life is initially to be good. Be good, speak the truth, don't harm others, don't inflict pain on others, become non-violent. And in this way, Buddha presented a new kind of a religion. And simply to stop this, and what was the nonsensical activities that was going on in the name of the Vedas. Nindasi jagga videraha sruti jatam. Sadaya hridaya darshita poshukhatam. Krishna's tender heart was afflicted by seeing poshukhatam. that animals were being slaughtered. So in this way, Krishna stopped the animal sacrifice and all the nonsensical activities that was going on in the name of the Vedas. It's actually quite inhuman what was going on at that time. Like in the name of the way the Brahmanas were behaving, torturing. That's actually the cause of the deviation and fall down of the Vedic culture. So anyway, Buddha came and he introduced a new theory, new religion. Now, Ved na mania Buddha hoilo nastik. Because the Buddhists did not accept the Vedas, they became Nastic, they became atheist. Because Vedas give the understanding of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So when one does not accept the Vedas, that means he doesn't have any understanding of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, he becomes an atheist. So now there was a need to re-establish the Vedas. The mission has been accomplished. Animal sacrifice and other nonsensical activities have stopped. But now there's a need to re-establish the Vedas. And Krishna instructed Lord Shiva to come and do that job, re-establish the Vedas. And Shankaracharya himself is telling that. Lord Shiva himself is telling that to Parvati. Mahā-vadānyāya acharyas prachanna bodham uchyate mayaiva bihitang devi kalo brahmana murti. Mahā-vadānyāya acharyas. Ashat means temporary. For the time being, it was a need to establish that. In order to re-establish the Vedas. Lord Shiva is telling Parvati that in the age of Kali, Kalo Brahmana Murtina, I'll appear in the age of Kali as a Brahmana in order to defeat Buddhism, and I will establish a theory which is covered Buddhism. Buddhism is, like we can look at it this way, Buddhism is covered atheism. They say that they believe in some religion, they believe in some practice, but their conclusion is actually atheistic because they are not accepting the Supreme Personality of Godhead as it has been described in the Vedas. Therefore, they are covered atheists. And this Mayavad that Shankaracharya established is called covered Buddhism. Prachanna. Prachanna means covered. Bodham means Buddhism. Prachanna bodham uchyate. I will establish a theory of a temporary conclusion, Ashat Shastram, a temporary scripture, or temporary doctrine. And so Lord Shiva came as Shankaracharya and he defeated the Buddhists and re-established the Vedas. Vedas were rejected. The whole of India at that time became completely affected by the Buddhism, and nobody was following the Vedas. Vedas were totally forgotten. But Shankaracharya came and re-established the Vedas by defeating Buddhism. And how did he do that? Buddhists say the goal of life is to become nothing, merge into nothing. Therefore, it's called Sunnavad. And the thing is called Nirvana, the ultimate salvation, Nirvana. But Shankaracharya raised a point that this expression Nirvana is a Vedic expression. And it doesn't mean to become nothing, to merge into nothing, But Nirvana actually means to merge into Brahman. Brahman is what the whole creation is made of. It's the transformation of Brahman that is this material nature. So that's the Vedic understanding. And with this concept, he defeated Buddhism and re-established the Vedas. He had to do it, he had to make some kind of compromise of the Vedic conclusion in order to defeat the Buddhists. Otherwise, if he gave the pure doctrines of the Vedas, then the Buddhists say, well, that we have nothing to do with that. And that is your theory, that's your scripture. We don't follow that. Therefore, he actually attacked Buddhism through Buddhism. And he pointed out that that concept in a pure form, in a real form, is in the Vedas. So this is how he re-established the Vedas. But he presented a theory which is not really Vedic. So that also, this is also very interesting. Like Vedas believe in a theory called Brahma Parinambad. Parinam means transformation. This Jagat, this world, is a transformation of Brahman, spiritual energy. The spiritual energy transforms Brahman, transforms into Pradhan, Mahā-tattva, then becomes affected by the gunas of the material nature, and then all these demigods and the senses and all they become manifest. So it is ultimately, it is a transformation of Brahman. So that theory that is there in the Vedas is called Brahma Parinambad, the theory of transformation. Now Shankaracharya established a new theory called Vivartavad, or theory of illusion. The theory of illusion is just as we make we mistaken something to be something. Like for example, the mirage appears to be water, but it's not water. A rope is mistaken to be a snake, but it's a mistake. It's not the real snake. So he created a theory like that. Is called Vivartavad instead of Parinambad. Theory of transformation was rejected by Shankaracharya, and he established a theory of illusion. And that theory of illusion has been established as Kevaladvaitavad and Mayavad. Mayavad. Maya means illusion. So theory of illusion. This Jagat is an illusion. It's not there. It's illusion. Whereas Parinambad, it is there. It's a transformation of Brahman. So that created Shankaracharya. He had to do that in order to re-establish the Vedas, to defeat the Buddhists. And because when they're saying it's all nothing, it's better to consider it is an illusion. It's not just nothing, it's illusion. It's illusory. Don't say that this Jagat doesn't exist. But this Jagat, this world exists as an illusion. So this is how Shankaracharya achieved his mission. But then came Ramanujacharya, and he defeated Shankaracharya's theory. For example, Ramanujacharya raised a point, fine, there is no water in the mirage. It's an illusion. Mirage is an illusion, no doubt about that, because it appears to be like water. But somewhere water is existing. That's why there is a concept of water in the mirage. There is no snake in the rope. The rope is mistaken to be a snake, but somewhere the snake is existing. Therefore, it is mistaken to be a snake. So in this way, he established that beyond this material concept, material nature, there's another reality which is the real reality. And above Shankaracharya's Kevaladvaitavad, or the non-dualism, absolute non-dualism, Ramanujacharya established his theory of Vishishta Advaitavad. Kevaladvaitavad of Shankaracharya was defeated by Ramanujacharya's Vishishta Advaitavad, Vishishta Advaitavad, a specific non-dualism. And then Madhvacharya, Nimbarkacharya, and Vishnu Swami, three other acharyas came and firmly established the Vedic conclusion. And then, but still there was a conflict between this impersonalistic Shankaracharya's followers and the personalists, the Vaishnavas of the four Vaishnava Sampradayas. But then Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu came and resolved that difference through his Acintya-bhedabheda-tattva. Acintya, inconceivable, bhed. Simultaneously there is difference and at the same time non-difference. It's both simultaneously different and similar. He established that, and that is Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu's presentation, which has been presented in a most wonderful way by the Goswamis. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu didn't write anything. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave only the Shikshastakam, the 8 verses of Shikshastakam. Besides that, he didn't write anything. But what he gave has been presented by the Goswamis of Vrindavan. Nana Shastra Vicharena Eko Nipuno Sadharma Shangsthapako Lokanam Hitakarino Tribhuvane Manno Sharanaka. The Goswamis of Vrindavan, Bande Rupa Sanatano Raghujugo Sri Jiva Gopalako. Rupa Goswami, Sanatan Goswami, Raghunath Bhatta Goswami, Raghunath Das Goswami, Gopal Bhatta Goswami, and Sri Jiva Goswami. The 6 principal Goswamis, they presented Nana Shastra Vicharina, consulting various scriptures. They established that one conclusion, which is the ultimate conclusion of the Veda. Eka Nipuno, Sadharma, the ultimate religion. Sangsthapako, they established. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu didn't write, but the Goswamis gave the wonderful philosophical understanding, consulting all scriptures, because our understanding is it must be from the scriptures. Whatever we say must be supported by the scriptures. That is the way the Vedic culture is followed. No room for speculation, no room for concocting something. When you say something, it has to be justified by scriptural evidence. So that is what came as Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu's wonderful gift to this world. When you go to the Chaitanya Mat, the Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur's temple in Mayapur. I'm sure many of you have gone there and seen that. That temple you have seen, in the 4 corners of the temple, there are 4 acharyas. Ramanujacharya, Madhvacharya, Nimbarkacharya, and Vishnu Swami. And in the temple there is the deity of Radha Krishna, Gandharvika Giridhara. So in a way, it can be seen as, mainly because Prabhupada used to say that Shankaracharya is our acharya. Shankaracharya is our acharya. Now, in one hand, Shankaracharya's theory or Siddhanta conclusion is to be rejected. So Shankaracharya's theory has been rejected, but Shankaracharya is recognized as our acharya. Why? Because what Shankaracharya did is like, for example, when you build a house, now that house will go up, but when you dig the foundation goes in the opposite direction. The building will be coming up this way, but the foundation is going that way. So the understanding is, on the field of atheism or Buddhism, Shankaracharya dug the foundation. That's why apparently it's going in the opposite direction. But it's on that foundation the building is standing. And on that foundation, the four acharyas, Vaishnava acharyas, Ramanujacharya, Madhvacharya, Nimbarkacharya, and Vishnu Swami built a temple. And Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu installed the deity of Radha Krishna in that temple. So in this way we can see that Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu's presentation is the ultimate conclusion or ultimate perception, ultimate gift of the Vedas. All the Vedic conclusion has been presented by Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu in his teachings. That's the ultimate conclusion. So this is just to give an idea of what who Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu is and what he gave to us. Hare Krishna. Does anybody have any question? I'll just open up. I wanted to give at least 15 minutes for question answer, but I have only about 10 minutes. Anyway, if you have any question, you can ask. Who is monitoring this program? Krishna Kishore? Okay. So Rajagopal, you can monitor the questions. Do they know how to raise hands?
Yeah, they need to wave hands. Gita-kirti Mataji, you have a question. Can you wave hand? I'll unmute you.
Yeah. There is a way to raise your hand in the system, in Zoom. Anyway, that will probably be easier for you. Anyway, I can see Gita-kirti, Radhika. So, okay, go ahead, Gita-kirti. What's your question?
Gurumaj, you mentioned there are 6 Puranas in the mode of ignorance, 6 in passion and goodness. Which are, you mentioned there are 6 Puranas in ignorance, 6 in passion and 6 in goodness. Which are the ones in ignorance, Gurumaj?
I have to give the thing, like say for example, Skanda Puran is in the mode of ignorance. It's not in the mode of ignorance. That's why I corrected it. Meant for the people in the mode of ignorance, right? Meant for the people in the mode of ignorance. Okay. The Puran is not in the mode of ignorance, right? Puran is transcendental. Similarly, meant for the people in the mode of passion, meant for the people in the mode of goodness. Therefore, see the qualification of Srimad Bhagavatam that Paramanirmat Saranam Satam, right? The qualification is when one becomes totally free from envy, then only he becomes qualified to study Srimad Bhagavatam. Dharma Prajhita Kaitavatra Paramanirmat Saranam Satam. Krishna in Bhagavad-gita said, Sarva Dharman Parityajya. And the beginning of Srimad Bhagavatam saying, Dharma Prajhita, given up completely. When the heart becomes Paramanirmat Saranam Satam, when the heart becomes completely free from envy. Completely free from envy means no more lust, no more greed, no more illusion, no more anger, and no more pride and no more envy. Right? That's a qualification to study Srimad Bhagavatam. Okay?
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj. Thank you very much for wonderful introduction, Guru Maharaj. Guru Maharaj, if you can please explain again about why Mayavad is called as covered Buddhism, Guru Maharaj?
Because you see, like Buddhi, what Shankaracharya did, he took the Buddhist doctrine, right, to establish the Vedas. You get the thing? He came to defeat Buddhism and re-establish the Vedas, right? So in order to do that, he had to take the cue from Buddhism. And that's why it's covered Buddhism. Buddhists are saying Nirvana is the goal of life. Shankaracharya is saying that Nirvana is a Vedic concept. You are saying Nirvana means to become nothing. And Vedas are saying Nirvana means to merge into everything, ultimate, Brahman. So that is it's called, that's why it's called Prachanna Bauddham or covered Buddhism. As if he is talking about Buddhism, but he is defeating their concept. There he is not saying that he is Buddhist, but in order to establish the Vedas, he is taking the Buddhist doctrine and defeating it. And so, yeah, okay, like this point can also be, to clarify that point, the Chaitanya Charitamrita is actually main statement. This and Shankaracharya is also presenting something like an atheistic theory. You see, Mayavad is kind of atheistic theory. The form of the Lord is not there. It's not real. It's illusory. It's an imaginary concept. Right? So that is atheism. So he's saying that Buddhists are Gnostic, that's all right. But to become an atheist on the basis of the Vedas is even worse than Buddhism. Vedashraya Nastik ko baad, Buddha ke adhik. Buddha ke adhik means is even beyond, even worse than the Buddhists, right? So that is, but then he is saying that tar dosh nahi teho agga kari dash. We can't blame him. It's not his fault. Shankaracharya it's not his fault. He is simply a law-abiding, the order-abiding servant. Agga kari dash. Agga means order. Agga kari das means a servant who is abiding by the order. Now Krishna told him to do it. That's why he did it. But time and time again, he pointed out that, don't take that course. Bhaja Govinda, Bhaja Govinda, Bhaja Govinda Mudhamati. You rascals, you mudhas, simply chant, simply worship Govinda, simply worship Govinda, simply worship Govinda. Because at the time of death, your word jugglery and this grammatical expertise is not going to save you from prapte sannihita marane. When the death becomes imminent, then nahi nahi dhumkrit, nahi nahi rakshati dhumkrin karame. This grammatical word jugglery is not going to help you at the time of death. So bhaja Govinda, bhaja Govinda, bhaja Govinda Mudha. So you say, you fools, you rascals, don't follow what I'm saying. Just become a devotee of Govinda. Does it answer your question, Purnachandra? Hare Krishna. So any other question?
Hare Krishna.
I can take.
Please accept my
Okay, very well. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much for this very, very wonderful class, especially, the points of the different categories you mentioned, like Vivartavad, Vishishta, Dvaitavad. Practically and truly speaking, I never understood. But recently, when I heard that Prabhupada writes in the purport that those who have not understood these philosophies are also not allowed to sit on Vyasasana. So really, Guru Maharaj, but again, I thank you so much for this. But really clarifying it a little further, that you said it's Brahma Parimanvad, and then it goes to Vivartavad, which again Ramanujacharya rejected as Vashishta Advaitavad. Yeah. So what is the difference between Dvaitavad and Advaitavad? Like, if you can explain.
Okay. So Dvaitavad, you see, Advaitavad means ultimately Brahman is one. And everything is a transformation of Brahman. There's nothing beyond Brahman. Brahman is the ultimate. All right, you get that point. Even the form of the form of the Lord is a transformation of Brahman. Brahman in the mode of goodness is in avatars, right? So the Lord's form is not Satchidananda Vigraha, right? Lord's form is a transformation of Brahman. Just like living entities, human beings are in the mode of passion. So when a human being transcends the mode of passion and comes to mode of goodness, then he becomes Narayana, right? That's the hodgepodge theory of the Mahā-vadānyāya. Therefore, they call the sannyasis as Narayana. So when a man transcends the mode of passion and comes to mode of goodness, he is equal to Bhagavan, right? And that's why you find so many Bhagavans, in today's world. They justify that, they were in the mode of passion, now they're in the mode of goodness, therefore they become Bhagavan. Okay, so, so that is the Shankaracharya's Keval Advaitavad. Keval Advaita, everything ultimately is one and there is no duality. The duality that is there is illusory. The form, the qualities, and the attributes, they all are Maya. Brahma Satya, Jagat Mithya. This material world of duality is Mithya, false. Got it?
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, now Ramanujacharya is pointing out that you are saying that ultimately everything is one and it is illusory, and you are giving the example. That's just one aspect I just mentioned. That you are giving the example of mirage, you're giving the example of rope being mistaken as snake. But then he's pointing out that, okay, fine, mirage is illusory. Illusory means it gives the impression of water, but somewhere water is there, therefore you're mistaken the mirage to be water. If there was no water, where's the question of mistaking mirage to be water, right? If there is no snake, then where's the question of mistaking the rope to be snake, right? So that duality that is there, or variety that they are there in this world, is existing somewhere else in reality. That is the spiritual world, right? And this world is a reflection of the spiritual reality. So whatever is there in the reflection, that may not be real, but somewhere that real tree is existing, therefore the tree is there in reflection. Okay. Okay, thank you all very much. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Had a wonderful time with all of you. And although I couldn't go there personally, but I will very much look forward. I'm waiting when the lockdown will be over and I'll be able to see all of you again. In your separation, I am feeling very bad. Thank you. Krishna. Exam will be over and I'll see all of you again. Separation. Thank you. Krishna.